Welcome to the FreeMind Podcast. Today is Tuesday, December 19th. Let's jump right into this week's episode.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm Ronda Brittain, co-founder and co-CEO of Ronda's Fine Foods. We are a woman and minority-owned small family business out of Petaluma, California. And our first two SKUs are Ronda's Sophie Award-winning Original Romesco and Ronda's Spicy Romesco. Both are new dip sauce spreads for charcuterie boards, specialty cheeses. They go great on grilled or roasted seafood, meat, poultry as a sandwich spread. So really versatile dip sauce spreads.
Excellent, excellent. How I see on your website there with retailer and wholesaler, is everybody you can purchase and have shipped anywhere in the country right now as far as on your
right
website?
Now, absolutely. Yeah. So you go to our website, we have a little shop set up so you can buy our products directly from us. We always encourage people to support local. We do have a Find Us on our website. So we have about 500 retail locations across the United States, thankfully. And you can find us on Amazon. So 3 different places you can find us.
Okay. Are you guys seeing the Q4 spike up here as you guys are getting bags and gift baskets and all that out the door?
Absolutely. So yeah, this is our super busy time right now. So we're doing we love to support our local community and doing events, a lot of events and demos in our grocery stores. You know, we're in a lot of natural and specialty grocery. So we get out there and do demos because with a new product, as you're probably aware, getting it into the mouths of our consumers is really important so that they can try it. Just like when hummus came out on the market, many people were like, you know, it's a new product, new flavor profile. How do you use it? And now it's a staple on everyone's table. We are hoping that Romesco will certainly become, and we're seeing this wonderful loyal following from our customers already that are using it pretty much on everything. You know, it can be, like I said, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and appetizer. So it's a really fun time for our company.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So as far as when you get out to retail and everything like that, are you through distributors or are you guys internally delivering all those products to those 500 retailers?
Yeah. So when we originally started, right, a new company, we didn't have distribution. So Steve and I were doing distribution ourselves. Steve's my co-founder and partner. And so we were doing that ourselves. And then we slowly gained traction, and we have several distributors. We're with Mike Hudson Distributing, which is a local distributor. We're with Tony's Fine Foods. We're with Zidian. We're with Pod Foods. And then we still self-distribute to smaller retailers because our products tend to also not only go into natural specialty grocery stores or in restaurants and things like that, but we're in specialty kitchen stores. We are in creameries, butchers. A lot of wineries are carrying us and putting us on their charcuterie boards or putting us in their markets. So we still self-distribute to those customers as well.
Yeah, that's actually what was that's a great point there with the charcuterie boards and everything like that. I can see this being a great product that you put on the menu item and then have it in the gift shop at the brewery, winery, distillery site, whatever it is you have there.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
Definitely. Same thing with like the restaurants that have us on specialty sandwiches, for example. They'll put us on the sandwich and then they'll sell the jars on the market. So it's a really great way to have some sampling and customer excitement, you know, and then they'll go and want to recreate that at home.
Absolutely. So let's tell me a little bit about your story, Rhonda. I mean, you guys when was this company founded? And then what's the story of the lead up to this right now with Ronda's Fine Foods?
So we founded the company and launched our first SKU in July of 2021. So we're still a relatively new company. But food has always been an absolute passion for me. In my 20s, I was making kombucha and had my little pots of kombucha in my laundry room before people were even talking about kombucha. I wish I would have launched back then, but I really, everything was and is as homemade as possible for me, but I just didn't know how to take it to my home kitchen and get it onto the grocery store shelves. And so that seed was planted way back then. I ended up working as a neurotrauma nurse for close to a decade at a level 2 trauma hospital, and food, how that came in to my daily life is that's how I connected with my patients. I'm always encouraging people to like learn how to cook, eliminate certain, eliminate soda, and add in more fresh fruits and vegetables, and things like that. So it was a way for me to connect with my patients. I ended up going through a divorce midlife, like many people do, and I met my current fiance about 6 years ago, and I was cooking for him, and he said, I made him Romesco for a charcuterie experience. And he was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is, but have you ever thought about taking something that you make and going to market? And this was really early on in our relationship. And, I told him, yeah, it's been a dream, but I just don't know how to do that. And he said, well, I do. So he has a 35 plus years, approaching 40, but 35 plus year a career in all aspects of the specialty food industry. So, it was really fun. So then that seed was planted between us, and then the rest is history. It took us, quite a while to kind of get things going, and as you know, like getting your marketing materials, your labels, and the plan in place takes a long time. So yeah, that's sort of how it started. Absolutely. I mean, it was really a serendipitous meeting. I couldn't have planned for that. And even when we initially started dating and I knew he was in the food industry, I didn't know how groceries, got into the grocery store. And it wasn't until, we had been dating for a little bit, but everything is food centric with me. I love, a lovely family meal, a cocktail hour with some appetizers, gathering with friends and family. And so that was really always central to the beginning and still is a part of our relationship. And so, it really just naturally opened up. And as we got to know each other and realize how really compatible we were, and that he had always had a dream himself of starting his own brand. He had worked for small brands and large brands, but he didn't have the item. He didn't have, he's not the creative part of our partnership. So the two of us were able to really bring together, I think, our strengths, and come together to create our company. And so it's been really fun for me to learn a completely new industry, but I think medicine certainly helped me to embrace that steep learning curve, and being open to like all the ups and downs of what it takes to run a company.
Absolutely, and that's and to your background, it does actually. There are some universal traits that are going to help. Obviously, helped you excel a lot faster. Obviously, being my wife's a labor and delivery nurse as well.
Yep. So
So yeah, the processes, procedures, the things like that are so important, especially when you get into wholesale. So you need the replication and the consistency of the products. So it's always. I've found that when we're speaking to food manufacturers that are getting into the space in the past 5 years or so and have finished a whole career in some other field, a lot of times those in the science-based fields, obviously, they tend to excel a little bit faster when that happens as far as that goes. So you can do without the business acumen, but if you can't consistently produce something, it's not working.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think one of the greatest things that I took away, when I was a newer nurse, especially, I was always reminded that you don't know everything in medicine, right? It's such a vast field, but you just need to know where to go and find the information. And so I brought that with me into this early time, especially when I was really, really new. And people are more than willing to educate and help when you're just honest, like, oh, that's something new for me, can you tell me more about it? And then, off to the races that you are, rather than trying to fully, fake it until you make it. It's been the people that have come into my life to help me and mentor me during this process, besides Steve, who is my number one go-to, it's been amazing. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Have you attended any, since you're kind of a little in the past couple of years into it, have you attended any trade shows or anything like that yet? Have you gotten
Oh, definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we're very involved with the SFA, Specialty Food Association. And so we've gone to the Fancy Food Show every year. And I'm part of, right now, I'm going through their mentorship program, which is fantastic. I take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way. And so I applied for a mentorship program and was chosen by Dom Bidgie, the CEO of Beaverton Foods, the largest condiment company in the United States. And his grandmother founded the company during the Great Depression. So that has been a huge blessing. So yeah, I love SFA and being involved in that organization. And then we do, smaller shows here and there for sure. We've done Expo West, IDDBA, and then some of the distributor shows as well. So wherever we can get out there, we have to be mindful. Shows can get really expensive, but it's important for us to get in front of the retailers and get the products into their mouth. So Absolutely. That's a great networking.
Absolutely. Especially for you. I mean, most people that had started during COVID, they're just now beginning that catch-up process. So the fact that you guys were consistent since you started, that's really crucial for that as far as that goes. So that's
I mean, and then starting a company, sort of during the pandemic was interesting. And, I was sort of not savvy enough to really know what I was stepping into, but people were cooking at home. And so we would go store to store and we couldn't do, sampling or demos, but we left sample jars. And so right off the bat, our products sort of took off as people were trying to create an elevated experience that they couldn't get at the restaurant. They would make that at home.
So Rhonda, like when you're opening a business in food and beverage, obviously a lot of people come out and they throw 15 different SKUs or they'll do 15 different categories. And I've used the word 15 as arbitrary, but you coming in with 2 SKUs, that is for me, as far as an insider kind of veteran of the industry, that tells me there's confidence. And that's when if somebody comes in from my space in the brewery world and comes in and brings one growler or one can and puts it in and says, this is all I want you to carry. That speaks volumes to me as opposed to coming in with a suitcase full of assortments. So First off, I'd like you to explain for myself included, as well as the world, what Romesco is, and then also the 2 different SKUs that you have, the 2 variations off of that.
Absolutely. So Romesco is originated in northern Spain in the 15th century. So the fishermen made this sauce to sort of spice up their catch of the day. It's also used on the calçot and sort of as a dip for this like spring onion type appetizer. And just like in Mexico, you have many familial recipes of salsa. In northern Spain, you have a lot of familial recipes of Romesco. So ours specifically is made with the California almond, roasted red pepper, garlic, tomatoes, spices, and olive oil. It is an all-natural, low-carb, gluten-free, vegan, and vegetarian dip sauce spread. Traditionally in Spain, they would add stale breadcrumbs to sort of thicken up the sauce a bit. And the few that are on the market and imported from Spain are more of a simmer sauce type product. You probably wouldn't use it as a dip, and you probably wouldn't put it on your sandwich spread or on your eggs. And they're sold more center store. So I learned to make Romesco in my 20s, and I had always put it as part of a charcuterie experience back then. And people were just like, loving having something savory. There's only so much jam or jelly or honey that you can eat when you're eating cheese, right? So this is a nice savory pairing to go in specialty cheese. So we targeted that area because we are one SKU and not many people know what Romesco is, and we would frankly be lost on center store shelves. So we were looking at the specialty cheese department and realizing, like I said, that there isn't a lot of savory to offer. And so we kind of filled this nice niche area because we're not replacing a jam or a jelly. We're an incremental sale to that department to round out your charcuterie experience. What I love also about it is that it's versatile. So beyond putting it on charcuterie, which a jar, we have 9-ounce jars and we have 32-ounce food service buckets, but The jar goes relatively quickly, but if not, the next morning you can put it on your scrambled eggs, for example. You can put it on a delicious specialty ham sandwich or panini. At night, you can dollop a piece of fish, or just have it with some cream cheese and crackers if you have just a few bites. And then at the very end, add some olive oil and vinegar, shake that jar up, and you have a really delicious, flavorful salad dressing. So I like to make sure that people really know how to use it in all the different ways.
Absolutely. And as far as production goes, are you co-packing, or is this made in house, or how is the production of as far as that?
Right. So we knew right off the bat that we were our goal was distribution. And so we started with a co-packer in Northern California. And unfortunately, we're sort of priced out of the California market. So now we are in Utah. So we have a co-packer in Utah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, how about so for you, this kind of closing question that I have here, as far as it can be a relation to any line of work in your entire career. So don't focus on this. But I really like to leave, somewhat cliche, but I like to leave with kind of moments of encouragement. So for anybody else, let's say right now, somebody coming into the food and beverage industry. Now, one of the things is it'd be great for you because you're into it fresh. You're only a few years into it. Kind of what would you say as far as if somebody has got a project at home and a similar scenario like you, and they want to escalate it to commercialization?
Sure.
In today's society, in today's world, what's one thing you would tell them not to forget?
Oh, not to forget.
To do, like not to forget to do, yeah.
Not to forget to do. Well, I think
Or
to
don't
not take,
I guess.
I mean, I think that not to take things too seriously. For me, if somebody, let's say I go in and I'm trying to, sell our product into a store, and maybe they don't get it why we should be in the specialty cheese department. And so they'll say, this is a great product, but it's not a fit for us. Thank you very much. I don't really hear a no anymore. I hear a not right now. And that has served me because I don't take it as a rejection. Because every time I've heard that sort of story, it took us almost a year to get into Whole Foods. And then the buyer said, okay, I ate the whole jar. I get it now. And, brought us into the specialty cheese department where we're doing really well. So I think sort of just to have fun and to not take things on a personal level and then just keep moving forward.
That's fantastic. And that's great advice. Cause I think one of the number one things is lack of follow through. I think that a lot of people don't get as far as they wanted to because they don't follow through, because exactly like you said, that was perfect in the sense that they misinterpret that pushback. And because of not being accepted in the beginning, a lot of people don't understand in the food and beverage world, you will know right off the bat if they don't want you in the door.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and frankly, we are not a fit for everybody. And we don't need to be. We want to make sure if we're in someone's store that we are a right match for the demographics and psychographics that shop there. And so it doesn't make sense to throw our nets so wide and try and capture, every single solitary person, but to really focus on the areas where we do well. And with that, we've gained a great following. We've said no to retailers where we don't think we would be a right fit for their community, because it doesn't serve them or us if we're not selling product. I don't want to forget to say we are launching our third SKU coming up in January, but we did want to focus, like you said, on getting a foundation of business and to really make sure that we are established before launching our third one. So hopefully by Fancy Food Show in January, we'll have our third SKU, which is going to be Middle Eastern in flavor, walnut pomegranate dip sauce spread. So very similar to the Romesco, and it's got a little bit of a sweet, but definitely a little spicy on the end flavor profile. So we're excited about that.
Excellent. Well, Donna, thank you so much for your time today. And I want to just reemphasize again, anybody with a specialty wine and spirits store, a natural grocery store, cheese sections, any of that craft artisanal consumer, get this stuff on your shelves, get it when you go home. rondasfinefoods.com. Ronda, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you telling your story.
Thank you so much, Nate. It was a pleasure.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, brought to you by the FreeMind Group, www.thefreemindgroup.com, a remote sales and marketing agency based in York, Pennsylvania, specializing in food and beverage.